Hello, everyone. Welcome to the package team quad planning meeting for March 9th, 2021. Let's kick off. I want to go to the 1310 status and workflow board review. Mostly this is just intended to go through and see where we're at with everything. I'm going to share my screen and pull up where we're at. Hold up, let me do that. Oop. This is what I'm looking for. Oh, you know what I should do before I do that? That's okay. Okay, so this is the milestone. I've filtered it on group package. I'm not sure why that's scrolling. It's a bit awkward. 1310 and package P1. So I'm going to go through here. Oops. So right now, where are we at? This is, oh, wait, didn't I filter on P1? Hey, team, what am I doing wrong here? This is just all open, right?
I don't know. Can you refresh?
It's in the URL, there is the labels are not there. So probably, yeah.
But shouldn't I be able to still filter? I mean, isn't it everyone enjoying?
If you don't click enter, it doesn't update the URL and
That's probably what I did. Thank you, Nico. I'm glad you know what I should be doing here. Appreciate it. Okay, so it looks as though for 1310, does this look right to you, Tim?
Yeah, I moved a bunch of issues that we had gotten feedback that actually there's probably this one that needs to change, but the rest should have been adjusted already.
Okay, thank you, Tim. All right, so we have, this is, where are we at? We're planning breakdown. So this is Ian, right?
no, it's on me, and it may need to be moved to workflow blocked. I picked it up this morning and I realized that there is a performance issue that we should discuss later on. And I don't think we should move in this direction with this issue at all at the moment until the underlying issue is solved.
Okay. So is it actually blocked? Is that what you're saying?
I think yes. Maybe David can confirm this if he agrees with me, because there is a problem on the backend side.
Yeah. I think we need to refactor how this page accesses the backend.
Okay. All right. So this is a P1. Tim, do you have something else that we could prioritize in its place?
For the front end perspective?
Yeah.
Not ready to go for this milestone, but I think we still have another issue in there for Maven. I could look to see what we have, but nothing jumps out for me top of mind.
All right. Well, you want to take care of the labels then, Nico?
I'll just move that, Nico, to a later milestone too.
All right. Okay, next one. These are all over here, right? Okay, status 8090. Okay, this looks fine. Just for the rest of the team, this is what Tim and I would often do, is just go through and check the latest async issue updates. So there doesn't really need to be discussion on these. We're just sort of looking at them to see if there's any concerns about whether they'll make it in, which is why we love the async issue updates, because we can do this planning and just sort of skim through these really quick. But all right, so this one looks good to go. It's in review. Nice. Let's get rid of that one. And that was this one. And then Ruby Gems, Steve. 8080. Hmm.
This one, it was in review, and then I found a bug. And so I've been working through that, although I hadn't had time in the last few days. But I've jumped back on it and enlisted the help of Mr. David in figuring out what I'm not seeing, hopefully, so that we can get it back into review.
All right. So I guess then, if I'm reading this, Steve, I'm looking at the async issue update, and I'm saying 8080 is probably okay. But if you say you have a bug you're working through, do you feel like that's accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And then wait, was this one? That was the one, right?
Isn't the next tab the online GC?
Did I skip the wrong one? Sorry. All right. Sorry. Thank you, Nico. So this looks review, but it's 15% complete. I suspect this one's given the confidence. Oh, it's a 3-weight though. Yeah. Yeah, all right. I think this is probably okay too, Tim, but we probably need to keep an eye on this one. Yeah, and then most of these I think are probably good. All right. Oh, yeah, I probably should put that up there. All right, so Tim, do you have any concerns? It looks like you've done a heap of work to sort of clean up the milestone already. Do you have anything you want to add? Anything else that we need to look at?
No, just that I think Nico probably went through not only his P1s, but also his stretch goals for the milestone already. So I have to find some front end issues for him as usual. But yeah, everything it seems like it's going okay. And I went through and updated all the issues yesterday. So I think we're balanced at the moment.
Cool. And Sophia, your test related items, coverage and planning, are those in here somewhere?
I don't think they are because they are not labeled with the package P1. So usually they are surfaced in the board by having the label quality. So probably, I don't think we should be seeing them with this filter. This is the investigation issue that the team is still discussing. So I think it will affect the planning of the upcoming milestone if we just start implementing some of the suggestions here after the investigation.
Okay. But you're happy with this? You feel like you'll get this all completed for 1310?
Yeah, I
Cool.
hope so.
Thank you. And then the other one, same question.
This one I updated Tim that this will probably be pushed to the upcoming milestone since there will be some reprioritization of the issues for quality for the package group.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move that to the backlog or a later milestone later today.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Cool. So what are we missing here? And should we just move on to the next item? All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen then. Sweet. Over to you, Tim.
Yeah, so yesterday I was working through the milestone planning issue, and I'm really trying, one, to focus on these package scaling issues that's in line with our direction update, to really only focus on things that are related to container registry garbage collection or issues that prevent people from publishing and deleting packages. So something that was at odds as I started considering that was that there was a reasonable or a decent amount of RubyGems work left that would go into 13.11, and if we wanted to finish in 13.11, I think it would take up, maybe this is fair to say, Steve, the majority of your time for 13.11. And I didn't think that was the right decision because there's a couple of issues that have been lingering for a while that have led to some negative customer sentiment that fall into the latter category of people are not able to use the package registry, basically. And those are the supporting V2 of Composer and using the preferred source and preferred install. Those are, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the milestone planning issue. I could share my screen. So yeah, I was just looking through the deliverable issues, and I thought that it would be better to prioritize some of these issues which are popular and have resulted in some negative customer sentiment. But I know that as a developer, it could be quite annoying to switch context and then switch context back. So I wanted to see what the team thought of splitting the remaining Ruby issues between 13.11 and 14.0, if that was okay. And yeah, wanted to open that up for discussion.
And so I can, just to kind of overview what's left with RubyGems. So I've got 3 MRs in progress that are either in review or right on the edge of being in review. And then after that, there's 2 more issues that both are related to being able to install RubyGems. One of them has a somewhat high level of an unknownness around it. So it could be as much as a 3, and that's the one I'm worried about the most. The other one should be relatively small. So there will be only 2 issues left. They can be worked on in parallel by whoever wants to be able to work on it. But there is some context involved in order to understand, what's going on there. But that's kind of where that is in terms of being able to fit into 13.11 or 14.
I'm okay delaying, like splitting it, but having the one that's straightforward in 13.11 and focusing on some of the issues I laid out in the planning issue, and then having the larger issue scheduled for 14.0. But if you tell me that's not the way that we should proceed, that's okay too. I think we would just have to let people know that we may not have the capacity to get to some of these other issues.
I don't mind installing the RubyGems. I mean, like the main thing, it would be that, like, there's been a fair amount of work put into it and a lot of time, and then it's not delivered yet, and other things are being worked on. So there could be just, some sentiment around that from whoever's following the RubyGems issues. But in terms of actually working on it, I don't have a huge preference.
Okay.
Is there some risk of getting behind the stuff that we've been working on, getting behind the code base and having to redo effort? And that's usually not a good thing.
You mean within the RubyGems?
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's completely, like, pretty much 95% of the code is like supplementing the existing package code. We utilize a lot of the existing package code, but then build the various services that work into the flow of the existing package code. So there shouldn't be any sort of like conflicts or anything else that would get out of date, if that makes sense.
Okay. And Sophia, do you get involved at this point when we're, say, looking at adding another package repository and sort of advise on what tests should be in there, or is that just sort of part of the existing process?
Well, the existing process for doing this is the quad planning that happens mainly when Tim opens the issue and I have the time to go and review. So the last time for the Ruby manager, basically this was just, there is just an opening of an issue and a test case. And then once I actually get closer to the milestone, or I get to actually read and evaluate the work that has been done, then I can actually iterate on the test and what can be planned. So it's more like an afterthought. I'm just saying this because usually, we have been adding package manager tests. So I'm assuming that this would just follow the same process. There would be documentation. The tests would also match the documentation, and that's just the process that's in place.
Thanks, Sophia. Go ahead, Tim.
I just shared the link that Sophia was talking about, and I'm pretty happy with the way that process is going. Usually what happens, yeah, like Sophia mentioned, she goes through the planning issue and we'll open up issues based on what she sees, and then we discuss and plan. And that's working pretty well, I think, so far.
One thing for the composer part, this was mainly work done by Gigi. And so I'm not sure for Steve, but for me, if I have to work on this part, I will need a bit of time to discover what has been done and how it works. So keep in mind that it's not known territory, so I will take a hit in the velocity of implementing things.
For me, that's okay, and a good investment for this milestone, because the longer we wait, I think the more heavy that weight will bear upon us. So I'm okay investing in it now, if that's okay. Okay, well, I think then we have an answer. I think I'll keep the issues as planned in the milestone for now, and I'll pull in one of the two Ruby issues, Steve, that you mentioned, the more straightforward one. And then there's one other thing that needs to change in the plan, which is maybe pulling in Nico's next point, which we don't want to live stream. And then there are also, we need to pull in some more front end issues for Nico. So I'll work on that today as well.
Cool. Thanks, Tim. All right. Well, I think we've got through that. I'm going to stop the recording so that we can address the not public stuff. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Sorry, it was a bit discombobulated this morning. I'll take the blame for that. But appreciate everyone's time. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.